Life is like a box of chocolate. My mama always. Hello, everybody. How
That's
you
right.
doing? This
Hi.
is a second look, and we welcome you. Thank
Yeah.
you for tuning in. It is a blast. It says, there we are. They really do have a delay train. I just saw that. We
Oh,
are
wow.
about 32 seconds in a delay.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
That means
32.
that means we're both the future and the past and the present.
Absolutely. Me, myself, and I.
Exactly. I don't need a whole bunch of people because I already got a party going on. So
Yep. Yep.
favor everybody. Much love to you. We speak favor over us all. Nothing missing, nothing broken. We are
Mhm.
prospering. If you're here,
Yes.
you are prospering.
Yes.
So my co-host, Miss Trina Phoenix. How you doing, my dear?
I'm doing great. And how are you, Wayne?
As I told you to begin with, I am unique, I am special, and I am one of a kind. So,
That is so true.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I absolutely
yeah,
agree with that.
you know.
Yes.
so,
Yes. That's why
so,
we love you, Wayne.
well, as I told you about that one email, which I thought was funny, someone in the Soul Tribe was a little jealous of Trina. So there you go, Miss Trina. So I see
Yeah.
Cass Hawks in here. Much
Hi,
love to you, dear.
Cass.
David Barry, much love to
Hi,
you, brother.
David.
Let's see, Gilbert, Pure Love
Hi,
Ascension, much
everyone.
love.
Oh,
Yes, we are prospering.
yes.
Paul B, old Nick, David Castle, much love, brother. Nina the Mystic, big hug to you, darling. Big Al and Perry on the road again. On the
Hi,
road
guys.
again.
I know it. I love it.
Exactly. Linda Brooks, how you doing, my dear? Good to see you.
Hi.
Deborah Sloan.
Hi,
Janie is
Deborah.
in the room. Man, there's a lot of
Hi,
people in
Deborah.
here.
Love you
Screaming
guys.
Engine. I haven't seen
Oh,
you before,
hi.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome.
That's right.
Francis, how are you doing, brother? Man,
Mm.
I'm just surrounding you with a lot. And I know, let me just say, there are so many of you that are having to make some very difficult decisions. And I just want to let you know that no matter what the outcome is, it's still going to be you. And in the blink of an eye is what this life really translates to. So you're a beautiful spirit being, always will be, and
Mm-hmm.
always shall be. So that's
Mm-hmm.
just a little uplifting, edifying you. Hey, go. What's up? Good to see
That's
you,
right. Mm-hmm.
Regina. So anyway, um, yeah, and I emphasize with a lot of people, we are in some strange days, Miss Trina.
Oh, boy. Never stranger. Never stranger. I think,
Mm-mm.
yes, we are getting to a definite culmination of craziness as to which hasn't been seen or witnessed in many, many, many hundreds or thousands of years.
And that's just it. It's interesting how we don't know.
No, we
Um,
don't.
Yesterday's show is it's getting the most comments of all the shows that I've done so far this year. It's off the
Uh-huh.
chart. And I
Yes.
think the reason why, Trina, is that whatever is happening,
Mm-hmm.
it's affecting us all.
Absolutely.
I don't see anyone being insulated from this.
Nope. Nope. This is global, worldwide.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Ice Age Farmer, I believe, actually had a video. And thank you, Gaia and Paul. Y'all sent me that. I just had a chance to briefly look at it. But
Yeah.
again, this seems to be an effect that it's just not here in the United States.
Oh,
People
no.
in Russia are being affected by it. People in China. It seems to be. I'll just say it. It seems to be by dividing up in 10 regions globally,
Mm-hmm.
which is really jacking with my head because there's and I'll just lay it out there. There is all the evidence of a 10-headed alliance coalition coming together. And this is getting really spooky because,
Yeah.
this is falling right into, much of the prophetic prophecy of Revelation,
Yes, it
and
is.
particularly the 12 weeks of the book of Daniel.
Wow.
So what is happening here, I'm not sure. And it's interesting. Please tune into the Steiger perspective because last week, particularly check out last week's show, there's 10 regions that are getting, the cocktail. And this is getting really odd. And so getting back to this Mandela effect, where people have definitive cognitive reliability of their memory. There's no need to question it. They know. And yet this is hitting them. And I was talking to one of my relatives, and who is a little older than I am, and specifically remembers the Twilight Zone because she had to do an essay on it.
Yep.
In junior high school.
Yep.
And I said, so what was the name? And she said, I know exactly what the name. She said, I probably have the essay somewhere, but Rod Sterling. But yet Joyce sent me the video, and you can check it out on YouTube, that you can see his headstone, his gravestone. It's Rod Sterling.
It is completely crazy, because it's almost like this would be kind of evidence to me of multiple realities all sitting in the same space, in essence. And some things, because of our expanded knowledge, and now we have internet, and now we have books, and we have everybody knows how to basically process that information. Many times in our history, it appears that we were so dumbed down or stripped away from knowledge and education and books and stuff. Everything's been rewritten because if they take it away, there's no recourse for it. So it seems like this is part of how things get reset.
Well, if it's a reset, they're doing it. Hi, Martin and Heidi. Much love to you, darling. Nina has a show an hour after this one. Hey, Marissa, good to see you. But let's get on in exactly what you were talking about there, because when the boomers die, when we die out, and that's going to happen within, most likely, let's just all be realistic about this, in the next 7,000 to 8,000 days, the boomers will be out. This rewriting of history then will become permanent, because the next generation behind us, they were truly the first generation of what I call the digital age. The boomers were the last analogs.
Yes.
I mean, I grew up in an analog world.
Yes.
I grew up where the phone was a party line. Yes. It was shared with the house down the street.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
So, I was born in 1955, and it's still weird, because for me, it seems like I was just born. I don't know about you, but I read somewhere, and I was commenting to Lynn this morning. I said, honey, this is getting weird, because when I got out of the shower, I had the strangest spatial distortion that here I am at this point in life, and it seems like it was just yesterday. And if you think about this, time is speeding up. Literally, the earth is speeding faster.
Yes.
This will become the shortest year ever. That means, and we don't realize that this planet, as big as it is, even if it's into milliseconds, that is a lot of mass. And if time is really an effect of what I would say electromagnetism, more than in gravity, because gravity seems to dictate time more than anything else. I at least that's my perception. Time is speeding up, and I've had people write me, and they're feeling the effect. I mean, trying to think about it, we're almost ready to go into November. The year is almost gone.
I know.
Weird.
It's so fast. It's so fast. I think a lot of people feel this speeding up of time. I've felt it for a little while now, like a couple years, but boy, it's just going faster and faster. And that's also biblical. If I did not shorten the days, I mean, it's crazy.
And then I want to, because tomorrow we're going to get into a deep study. The Russian mathematician Anatoly Fomenko, very controversial individual, but he's an Einstein. In fact, he may even be smarter than Einstein. Wow. But he contends in his theory, and he's not alone in this. Actually, Isaac Newton said he questioned history. because he apparently realized that the church was rewriting history. And as you
Yes.
and I were talking before we got on here, history is merely the interpretation of the victor.
Yes.
I
And
don't
think
see the
about it.
poor guy, the one who lost, saying, wait a minute, y'all, you forgot my.
This is why they always do the whole burning of the books every
Yeah.
time you
Yeah.
have any kind of revolution or this and that. And that's to get rid of the stories they don't want people to know about. And typically that's resulting in about, freedom and stuff like that. So,
Well, and it even gets stranger than that, again, Lynn and I were talking, and she was just blowing her mind because I said, how do we really know that, for instance, yesterday was Monday, October 18th, 2021?
we have no clue. We have no way to prove
Exactly.
that. We have no way to validate that. No way.
And we know that the Julian calendar screwed up the Gregorian calendar, that what we're
Yep.
using today. We know that the times are off. And I just want to show people, because tomorrow we're going to get more into this. But Trina, I thought it would be a good thing for us to really look at. So this is Antonio Famico's. I'm reading this, and this is kind of really weird. So he says that history is more fiction than it is science. He has the mathematic formula. He gets into it, but I just want to throw this into the mix today. He says that Jesus Christ was born in the year 1053 AD and crucified in the year 1086 AD. The Old Testament refers to a medieval events, and it does, and the apocalypse was written after 1486. Now, he goes into this, and tune in tomorrow because we're going to get into this more. But his theory, and I find it interesting because if you look over at Mud Fossil University, over there, our good friend over there, George, on his website, we know that apparently something happened early 19th century. Apparently there was a cataclysm that no one seems to remember.
Yep.
If you and I jumped ahead looking at his work, he says the apocalypse has already happened.
Yes.
We're living in a time that is repeating back because this event, apparently whatever happened back then, was so catastrophic that we seem to be living the memory of a dead society. We're dead. We're reliving the trauma because of our psychic energy has been imprinted on this planet, this timeline, this time that we call it. We're all dead. We've been dead.
That would make sense. That would totally make sense.
Now, I mean, I got chills when you start thinking about this. We are dead. We're not alive. We've been dead for many of us for a very long time.
I think that's exactly
what we are. We're trapped in a hell.
That's kind of what I saw, is like our projections are captured somehow. So, and it's done through the astral body. That's where it's done. It's caught and captured in the astral body. That's the cage. So yeah, I've seen that for a while, and it makes sense because this is all, it's a projection. It's a holographic simulation.
Bingo,
there's almost 100% absolutely no way it's not. I mean, you can't disprove it, unfortunately, but it's like.
But he can. He says that mathematically it is impossible for a prophecy that is being stated to actually come to pass. I mean, if you look at the complexity of the trillions and trillions of calculations of individuals who have an own sense of free will, or so we're told, that no matter what you would project in the future, the randomness of chance is always going to be behind here, changing it just a little bit. So it's bizarre.
That's why I think they've been able to be so successful, is because they put in the religions and the education systems, which put people into a collective of a thought and a way of being, and what our history is and where we come from. And we're all kind of told the same crap stories. And then that's what forms our basis of our reality. We'll see the ones that think outside the box. the ones that question, is this our history? All
Yeah.
these things, because we start to notice these little differences in the reality, hence the Mandela effect. All these things are real. And that's, again, evidence that we are having an influence upon this reality. But it also shows us that they have an ability to change the script.
Indeed. I mean,
Yes.
and do it very effectively.
Yes, but I think we
Because,
can too.
well, and there you go again. So if we're talking about, all right, as the title of this show is, where are we exactly? I mean, my wife got up and she says, I'm going to bed. She says, this is too heavy shit for me at this too late at night.
Right.
You know, that's exactly what she said.
Too much for bedtime for me. Right. I can't do it.
She said, I know exactly where I'm going to the bed, but it is one of those things that now here's someone, Jay Armstrong says, have you checked out the dead internet theory? No, I have not. Haven't even heard about it.
That's interesting.
But
very interesting.
It's very interesting. The
dead internet. Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay. Wow.
So
I just heard astral connection right there. So wow, powerful.
I think there's a lot going on. I mean, again, we don't know exactly where we are. It's interesting. We don't know where we are in history. We don't know where we are in space. We don't know where we are spiritually, apparently. And I began to think about this thing that maybe we are all already dead. We're just simply reliving memories of an event that has already happened in a time long, long ago.
You know what I think, more than being dead, it is that you are dead, because I really think you're sleeping. I've seen myself sleeping. So somehow, you know how they preserve bodies and they preserve mummies, and then the technology outside of this realm, which I'm pretty sure all of our bodies, there's a body of ours, probably even maybe fifth, sixth dimensional. It could be higher astral. I'm not sure, but that body has been captured. So somehow that body system has been captured and it's in stasis, it's in sleep. So this is a creation or a process of the dreamer, but you're the mainframe doing the dream, but we're all connected somehow by this collective matrix. So it's so profound what I see, but it's like, this is a holographic reality. And of course, and we're putting input into the supercomputer through a point of focus light upon the playing field, like a chessboard. And it's all connected. So that's how they can see what you're doing. They can read your thoughts. They know what you are. They can see your vibration, your light. This technology is completely crazy.
Oh, they're listening now. I mean, it's
built in us too. It's internal technology. They show me, no, you're born with this technology. It's part of this system. It's part of what makes you here. I was like, whoa, that's deep. So I think we're dreaming more than dead, Wayne. And they've captured our dreams. Yeah, and I think that somehow we have a body that's being harnessed for its energy, like a battery system, to support and feed and create this matrix.
It's obviously that there is something definitely afoot, because when you can see, when they can begin, I did this about 4 years ago. I did a video, the fact that all of us, what makes us different than, let's say, the Renaissance man or cultures that began at the turn of the first century, is that we are immersed in an electronic net. This 5G, 4G, 3G, microwaves. I mean, we have 4 5G towers within a mile radius of where we live. And this is surrounding us 24/7. We're never free of it.
No.
And I can't help but know, when we have technology like Stingray, when we have projects that are being deployed even now and spying on us, that, and it's not, it's the fact that it's the Truman Show being lived out in this reality. Because I can, for instance, I'll tell you, this is really weird, right? Sunday morning, I'm making pancakes, and I usually play jazz in the morning and Lynn's reading. But, Sunday morning, I played Aunt Alice's Restaurant by Arlo Guthrie. Now, there was nothing on in our house, no television, no anything else. And then I came in, turned on my computer, and in the YouTube, where they do your page where you have all the recommendations, guess what was front and center?
Yep.
Aunt Alice's Restaurant.
Yep.
And it showed you right there that something, and you can be in denial, but if you're in denial, you're not on a river in Egypt.
Yep.
This is really strange because they're able now to plug in to conversations. And I personally believe that the only way to outsmart them is to begin to use telepathy. And so Lynn and I have been practicing it more and more, that because if they can't hear my thoughts by giving vocalization to them, I don't think they have the ability to actually stop me learning to communicate telepathically to, for instance, my wife.
Mm-hmm. I think it's very possible. I know you can do that. I know it. But it seems to me it's because these are the right questions. When the answers come is when the right questions are being asked. And it's like, is this even our history? Are we even where we think we are? All of this, I think we're starting to realize the evidence is that no, we don't. We don't understand what we are, what we're doing. None of it. We don't understand nothing. I don't even think we understand the soul, the spirit. Are they one? Are they two?
Well, obviously we don't, because it's still the number one thing. I mean,
flat, round. It's like, really? It's like, I hate the flat round thing because I think both of them are correct. If this is a simulation and a holographic expression, holograms have to be on a playing field. It has to be on a flat surface. But everything in this creation is spherical. So what I see is the playing field on Earth is flat, but the hologram around it is a sphere. That's what holds it in together. It's the sphere. So it's the craziest thing. It's like everybody's right and everybody's wrong. We all have a little bit, but none of us have the whole picture. And that's what we need to do. Unify all these ideas and keep asking more questions, because the truth, man, who knows what that even is? But if you seek it, I think you're going to get closer to it and closer to it if that's truly what you desire or want. No matter what it is, just show me what it is that's true. What is it? What is this? I think a lot of us are getting those answers because we're just asking the right questions. And I think,
well, if you continue to carry that thought out, so let's extrapolate further. If in fact we are not technically alive, I mean, I know what the reason why man comes up with the science of natural law is that it gives us validation that we exist. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if we would have no point of reference to it. So we know this. We know that in this day and age, because of the technology, we're seeing what I am titling the dead and the living walking together. Mm-hmm. Now, it's interesting because we perceive the dead as being, it's really weird. You can say the undead, the unliving. Yeah. But the dead see us as the unliving. Mm-hmm. Now, think about this. So we're capturing more and more evidence of cryptids. These are strange animals, life forms that they're showing up all over the world on every continent. So there is obviously other living life forms here that are either merging in between two different realities, or may I contend this hypothesis that it's the same reality, that the dead and the living are not in a separate, what we think, realms. We're actually in the same realm. We're just in different positions.
I've always seen that. All it is a vibrational shift. And then we would see that reality. that's how easy it is. And I see that there's layers and layers and stacks of this. It's like crap, but it's weird. But
Well, it gets
collectively,
weirder. Go ahead, hon.
yeah. Well, I'm like,
Well,
collectively, somehow we can hold it together where when you wake up in the morning, you're in a reality. But I think from one day to the next, you can switch a reality. Sometimes you go through a tunnel on the freeway and it pops you into a different reality. I'm starting to sense these shifts happening all the time.
I think
And
they
and
are.
I see these realities are so finely layered on top of each other. But then, like you said, when you get to the cryptids and the different beings and stuff like that, I think that's a blending with the fifth dimensional energies, which is what we're going to be going into. And I think it's part of one of the veils lifting between those two energies, and they're starting to blend and merge.
Well, I contend that we're one and the same. For instance,
Yeah.
I have this theory that I've been working on for years, and it just continues to repeat itself. Why is it that every apparition, every ghost that has been filmed and recorded always has clothes on?
Mm-hmm.
It gets even further stranger because as you begin to see certain people that if you look in their family lines, you swear that that person lived 200 years ago because they look exactly the same that they look like today. Furthermore, you find that these ghosts, these spirit beings, they're us, one would assume. It seems and this is my point, that we're trapped because you will see a ghost that was in, for instance, you go to Gettysburg. And if you ever go there at night, you will see the dead rise. I mean, they're living, you can hear the battle. So that tells me they're trapped like we're trapped.
Yes.
We're going to live out this lifespan, but this is going to be a trap. We're going to be back here again.
And you know what I see with that? It's like that battle at Gettysburg, because I don't know why I tune into that, but I can. That is the charge. It's a psychic charge because it was so brutal. It was so horrible. It was terrible. So there's a psychic charge. Those powerful imprints encode matter on this planet, but it's still attached to the soul that was experiencing it. So the best way to remove that charge from the planet, and you can release that, is because it's only a part of them. There's a whole part of them that's fully restored, but that is a piece that's hooked into this world. You can heal that with doing a healing with those souls on that battlefield, and you can clear that charge. But these are the types of things that we have to look at. That's why they're like, clear your trauma, heal yourself. This is why, because these charges literally hold you into the matrix. That's what I see. They're like hooks into the clay, and it's a way to get you energy back into the system. So it's like we really have to learn to let go and completely let go, because it's our own trauma that keeps us captured. That's what I mean. We truly do have the key to our own jail cell.
Well, it seems like they can't. I mean, it's also like stories of Hiroshima, the stories of the living dead. These were the people who were incinerated in a blink of an eye. And the thing about it is, unlike the normal death process, they were atomized. And there are stories of these people that are still there. In fact, one of the strangest phenomenon about Hiroshima and Hiroshima is at the moment of detonation, what they found, and if you check me out on this, folks, is that the souls are still atomized into the buildings. And even with the removing of the rubble, it hasn't removed them. It's weird.
That would make sense. Remember, Wayne, I told you I got in trouble for blowing stuff up, and they were like, you need to stop that, because remember they said about the atomic particles, when you distribute that, it takes a super long time for that being to get its essence back together. That makes so much sense.
I don't know if they ever could. I mean, it's torrid.
They can, but what they have to do is they have to turn the particles that are here into antimatter, because they do transfer. So you have to focus. There is a way to do it. I've seen it. And you can do it, but boy, it takes time. And wow, that so makes sense what you said. I'm like, wow.
And then let's continue to go forward. So when they, at Anatol, when they detonated the H bomb, we were, and the scientists, you can read their reports, we were seconds away from ripping the space-time continuum. What apparently happened was they realized that something took place more than just in the physical atmosphere. They actually could witness it. So my point is, we see all these fractures now into these ripping of the space-time continuum, and that's why they primarily stopped atmospheric testing. But we took it underground, which is a whole new thing down there, because apparently we declared war with these underground nuclear tests of the race of beings that are living inside the hollow earth. And they view us here on the surface as really kind of the lower life forms.
Oh, I would too.
So
I must agree. I can't dispute that rational line of thought there. With duh. That's what I'm telling you. Crazy people with big toys that we have funded. This needs to stop.
CERN.
That's what I mean. This needs to stop.
They say that the Mandela effect. Now, I happen to think that what we're really experiencing on top of all this is, in fact, that whatever that quantum computer did the first time, and it's not my words, it's theirs.
Yeah.
They were kneeling before, again, using the metaphor, an alien god.
Absolutely.
Which I tell you, I meditated on that and I saw that creature, and this thing, it's weird. And it gets further strange if you think that they actually were able to take a substance in another dimension and bring it here. What would be the repercussions of that, Trina? I mean, there's just so much to this that it's almost like you just want to say, oh, screw it, let it go on, Right.
I think, potentially, remember in the Bible, it says something about they open the door that they cannot shut.
And we did that. And speaking of that, so we know rabbis have been practicing in the Hebraic tradition for nearly 4,000 or 5,000 years in opening portals.
Yes.
This is a bizarre place, Trina. I wrote someone, this is like being in an amusement park. I'm going to get it on to the Screaming Eagle. That was the roller coaster there at Six Flags in St. Louis. And although it's still the same roller coaster, what's going to be different is the thrills. You see, I know that when we get up to the peak of the first long climb, that I'm going to feel that moment of exhilaration, but each time it's different.
Yes.
And then I started thinking about that, going, holy crap, Batman, why wouldn't we do that anyway? I mean, so if we are merely reliving a program, a predetermined script, how did we volunteer for this? There must be some sort of pleasure involved.
I wonder that too a lot. I really do, because they say, "Oh, this is the place you go to learn, and this and that, and this and that." And I could see how that could absolutely make sense, because boy, we do like adrenaline. We like excitement. We love passion. And those are all very powerful, animalistic, primal, self-serving attributes. But to have balance with those attributes, as well as have balance within your spiritual part. So to have a sense of adventure, but to do it all in balance, that could have been the whole key to this gig, was, can you merge spirit with nature and have something that doesn't turn out to be completely psychotic and crazy? Look at the psychotic nature of this world.
Then maybe it could be that we bought the ticket and we said, to hell with all of that. I want to feel all the pleasures of the body. I want to feel guilt, because you see, guilt is addicting. There are people, I know, I was one of them. When you have guilt installed in you in a very young age, guilt becomes almost as addictive as heroin, because you get into the guilt thing, and that opens up a whole new area of emotions that have their own endorphins, their own neuroreceptors that go, because listen, feeling sorry for yourself feels good.
Yes.
They say it's a form of pride.
Yes.
And I'm just countering the thought here, because
it's true.
Maybe I liked coming in here. The thing that I struggled with through all Christianity was their constant demeaning of the sexuality of the human experience.
Yes.
They say that the sex is all bad, but yet I've never seen in any marriage counseling that you teach the person, well, this is the proper way to have sex.
Right.
No, you're going to leave me with this thing that I'm going to feel guilty now, that because somehow I have succumbed to the pleasures of the flesh. And I'm thinking, but my spirit likes it.
Yes. But do you see how people can take things into such dark areas
Yes.
with sex? And then no matter what they have sex with, it doesn't start to arouse them anymore. So they get deeper and darker and more twisted until it's, getting really crazy with.
Oh, there's some people that go into the extremes, but I think the point is that most of us, it's like, riding a bicycle. I do very well riding a bicycle when the road is fine. I don't like riding the mountain bikes because I almost literally broke my neck. But the fact is,
right.
I think sometimes we cast ourselves into these molds, and it's like we purposely limit ourselves. We purposely get ourselves into certain things, and I think at the end of the life, when we snap out of it on the other end, you want to go, I want to do that again.
I think it's very plausible, Wayne.
I
really do. I really think it's very, very plausible. Yes, because this is where you get to actually be connected to matter in a different way, to where you're pulled by it. The moon, everything here is pulling at the body, the avatar. It's trying to control it. You have all these different factions of energy trying to dominate the body. And to keep control over all of those energies, and to keep things balanced, and to have adrenaline rushes, to enjoy wonderful sex, to do all these beautiful things, but do it in balance to where it's not harming people. It's totally agreeable with the other people involved, to where it's not dark. It's like nature's a dark energy. It can pull you way down. It's where the roots go. It's supposed.
Let me ask you something. Hold that thought there a second.
Yeah.
I want to inject here. So
yeah,
I've seen in my life, I've seen all sides of this, but the thing is that we all assume all of our spirits are the same age. And I think we need to bust that right out, because the fact is, those who I've seen lose themselves into the different traits and aspects and attributes of physicality, spirituality, even religion, is that I have found them to be more younger spirits. I myself I'm much older than, but the interesting thing about myself, I carry a perpetual youth within me. That's my inner core.
Yes.
But
I think that's a master, Wayne, because when you can understand that you're no longer the child, but embrace the wisdom of the childlike qualities. And you also too, because you can break out of those indoctrinations, and you've chosen to, no, I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to look at this for myself. I'm going to start to believe in myself. That's your cutting the apron strings from needing a parent to say, mom, look at me, dad, look at me. You bypass it.
I never had that in this life,
Exactly. But you know what I mean? It's the whole needing. You've grown up. Your soul is obviously older, or it's matured here through your process. But bottom line, that's a symbol to me that you're no longer the child. You're now a more advanced, older being, but you've learned how to embrace the child. And that's when you win. It's when you can merge the old and the new and bring it together in balance. It's It's brilliant, Wayne. It's brilliant. It's just brilliant.
It's interesting because I think one of the great things about growing older,
Yes.
I'm 66,
Mm-hmm.
and I have now more time to reflect back. And I got to tell you, I write this in my journal, is that I am so humbled and so honored to have had this journey. I mean, it hasn't been an easy one, but
No.
boy, has it been the most rewarding one.
You know, that's what I think, that's what we came here to do, is to see how well could you play in this game.
Yeah,
This crazy transitional time on Earth. You know, how are you going to support this system? How are you going to support this dream? Because that's what I kind of see it as, like, we're dreaming a dream, and the dream is being held within the dreamer, but it's a projection of all of us together somehow. We can have an effect on it, and we are. And it's because of these questions.
Dreamer, you're nothing but a dreamer. You know, can you put your hands on your head? Oh my.
Oh, no.
You see, that's what we're talking about, man. And then you got Dream Weaver. You know,
that's one of my favorites. Yes.
Yeah. And then you got the Moody Blues on the threshold of a dream. I mean, you know, so it is interesting.
Yeah.
And it's such a, listen, in this day and age, it's spooky out there. It's scary.
Yes.
But then I'm finding within there is this, I don't know how to put it. It's a retreat. It's an enclave where the energy isn't threatening. And I want to say something as well. I love these angels.
Oh, gosh,
these angels, and we're going to continue to do it, is that, wow. Yeah. Some people, great, interesting senses of humor, even within our group.
Yes, I know. Some of the best.
It's like, okay, yeah, all right, yeah.
Yeah, some of the best.
So, see, everyone loves Dreamweaver. I mean, why not?
Oh, it's one of my favorites. Yeah. One of my favorites. And that's what we are doing. We are weaving a dream. And that was, remember, the Lord told me, you guys came here to do the impossible and you came here to win. This is what I was seeing, was people waking up and understanding that, like you, that there's a greater power that you need to learn about, which is within you, because that part within you is what connects you to what's higher. And that's where we want to go. That's the real meaning of that. And you can't get there with somebody else doing it for you. You have to do it. And that's, you know, it's like when I was a little girl, my mom said, the first formative sentence you ever said was, no, Mom, I do it. I knew I had to do it. It wouldn't be if anybody else did it for me, that would miss the mark. It would miss it. I knew it. I've known it since I was 3. It's like, you have to do these things yourself. And that is so powerful, to gain that wisdom and the experiences. And it's like, when we can learn not to judge ourselves for our errors and embrace that we had the bravery to just even take this stuff on and start to love yourself, like a part of you that I've met of me that does love you, and it loves you more than you could ever imagine love on this planet. It's not the same. It's so much bigger. It's like when people have near-death experiences and they're like, this love was, there's no words. That's the part of you that you need to remember, part of you you need to find.
I see it that when we pass, you know, number one, your natural energy, who and what you are, is going to be attracted to what I would call like-minded energies. I mean, that's how they flow.
Yes.
And you know, for myself, I see the passing over as a hallway. I have my beach, which is, you know, my primary stopping off, but I see a hallway. And you know, when I think about love, the spirit of love, that love within itself is completely non-judgmental. Yes. You can't have judgment and have love in that, because judgment belongs into more of what I would call into the dualistic realm, cause and effect. I believe that there is a realm where this love is, it's a realm. There are
Yes, and
trillions there.
the error is not even present because the
Yeah.
vibration doesn't
Yeah,
align with it.
it
So
does.
it's
Exactly.
not even there. I totally get what you're saying, Wayne. That's
And you know
yes.
why most
Yes.
people can't get into it?
Because they
They
judge
carry
themselves.
exactly. They
That's
carry
why.
this judgment,
That's right.
and it forbids you to go in.
That's
You
it.
can't cross that force field.
That's it. Cut that shit loose and learn to love
Yeah.
yourself because the God that you're seeking is a part of you. You
Yeah.
can't get close to whatever this God thing is. It's an energy of consciousness. And that consciousness is connected to the spiritual matter of mother. That's the feeling part. It's such a beautiful marriage of energies. And I think that's why we love to be in this experience, is because we get that blending of those energies.
Yeah, that's where I know I'm bound. I've been there before, and that's what draws many of us. And it's interesting because
Mm-hmm.
as I see this now, the gods of this world are all the gods of judgment.
Yes.
And that tells you something right there. So
Yeah.
if that exists, then it tells me that then the antithesis of that would exist.
Yes.
Yes. I mean,
Yes.
and why is that so hard?
And that's what I'm telling you. It's a difference between
It's
the
like,
visible gods and the invisible. That's
yeah,
what it is.
yeah,
It's a total different kind of light that is the invisible, unfathomable part versus the material prisms of light.
yeah.
Prisms of light.
And it
Prisms,
is weird
prison.
because, when you have a jealous deity,
Mm-hmm.
well, I've never seen the love that I've seen jealousy attached to was
Mm-hmm.
not what I would call healthy love.
Absolutely not. Right.
Yeah,
No. Yeah.
I knew a couple. They
Yeah.
seemed to be, just in love. They seemed to be
Yeah.
this compatibility. But the problem was she was jealous
Uh-huh.
to the point, and what he did for a living was out there in the public all the time, that it eventually turned the love into what I would call hate.
Yes.
I mean, it got to
Isn't
the
it
point.
amazing how
Yeah.
fine that line
Boy,
is,
isn't it? I mean,
and how that
woo-hoo,
transfer can hit. So I'm telling you, love and hate are kind of the same exact thing because vibrationally they're just opposite polarities of the same power, because that's a power. Hate is a power and love is a power. Those are both powers. And think about it. Crimes of passion. It's even in the law books. If you have a crime of passion, your sentence is less because they know you've temporarily lost your mind.
Boy, isn't that interesting? And that term, I love that. Lost your mind. That means your mind took a walkabout,
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, you're completely emotional and
have you seen my mind?
Right, it's gone.
Where's my mind?
Yeah.
I lost my mind. Well, then what's the matter? Can't you find it? I mean, yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
that's so interesting because if you follow that thought of love, for many of us, love for, growing up in this passage through, love was always associated with primarily fear, loss, you know, and so you go through this thing in a period of time where you don't even want to touch the idea of love.
I think
Love
that's why
is
people
vulnerability.
say, right, why is love so scary? Yeah, that's a big question. You hear that one a lot. Why is love so scary? If this is love, then why is it so scary? Yeah, it's scary. Because it is vulnerable. You're all vulnerable. Yes.
And
yes.
and a lot of the companies I worked for in the past, we did sales training and we did psychology tests all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that they said that that would be a hindrance for executive management is that I was too trusting.
Oh.
And it's interesting as you go through life and in the business realm and there's other places as well that we find, and they call us naive. They said, you're very smart, you have a lot of talent, but you're too trusting and you have to toughen up. And I said, so in other words, what I have to do is suspect everyone.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
And I think a lot of people go into personal relationships almost on the same type of terms.
Well, especially too, if you have past traumas that you haven't healed and
Exactly.
resolved, you're just going to
Well,
recreate or
he's
bring
just too
in.
nice. Oh, wait a minute. No one can be that perfect. And the guy really is just nice.
Yep. But they won't be drawn to that because they haven't resolved their past issues with their past relationships. Typically, you're going to bring in something the same because it's going to keep coming at you till you can overcome it. And I think this is one of the things that you actually sign up for to learn. Like I saw that I was right in my contract with certain things I wanted to learn, certain things that would be difficult, certain
There's
things that would be
obviously then
wonderful.
it
So,
would be, but there's
yeah.
obviously though there are a lot of people who fail at that. For instance, if arthritis, I found
Yes.
this out decades ago when I did a complete word study of the book of Proverbs.
Hmm.
And in the book of Proverbs, it says, get this, bitterness and anger brings dryness to the bones.
That is in Louise Hay, too. You can heal yourself, and how you heal yourself by understanding the attachments to the diseases. And she labels it identical to that. And that's true, because when I go into the body, when you go to the arthritis, that's what you find.
You
It's
find
pissed
bitterness.
off about this. It's pissed off about that. It didn't get its way on this. This didn't work out. That's exactly what you find: bitterness and resentment and rage and anger because of the bitterness. That's profound, but it's true.
Thank you, Deborah and Teresa. Y'all are just so beautiful.
We love you.
And then that's that. It is so true. Is that I found out so. You go through these traumas and you really do have this choice. You really do. Do you take it within and, never make amend, or do you push it out with a shout,
Yes.
And I just found it easier just to forgive people. You know why? Because
Yes.
I know that if I sow forgiveness, I'll reap forgiveness.
Absolutely. But the thing for me, forgiveness is like such an amazing thing because it heals your body. It heals you. It's like
It
forgiveness
does.
truly is for you because it doesn't hurt the other person. It's in you. It's storing in you. And that pain and that charge is in you. And it's so amazing how we can hold charges so deeply. I think that's why a lot of people, when they would do you watch the movies about when the demons and these bad ghosts were out hurting people and stuff, that they had to go find the bones and they had to burn the bones. Because see, that was anchoring their ability to manifest on the astrals in this realm. So they would literally go and destroy the bones. These things go in your bones. These charges go in your bones.
So as you were talking,
For
I
real.
heard this in my head.
Mm-hmm.
The angels are drawn to what they call clear light within the soul. And that clear light are those souls who have the ability not to hold resentment, unforgiveness, bitterness, because that repels these creatures. They can't be around that. Now there
Like
are,
attracts like.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
exactly, that's exactly what, right, Wayne.
yeah.
That's exactly right. They can't, they don't go into those vibrations because it's not good for, no way.
I don't think they can. I
They
think it's within their
can,
nature. Maybe
they
they
can.
can.
They can, but they won't stay in it long because it's like a virus. Like they're trying not to catch a cold. That's kind
I,
of like what it feels like to me. It's like they know they can catch the virus if they're around it too long, and they have to like cleanse their auric field when they break away from it too. It's just like energy infection. So yeah, they can do it, but they have to do cleaning and clearing afterwards. And yeah, they can go in though for emergency situations and stuff. Yeah, I've seen them go into some dark
makes
energies,
sense.
real dark
That's a
energies.
mission. That would be a
Well,
yeah.
I used to see myself go into dark regions of energy, and man, things grab a hold of you in there. They get a hold of your light. They try to grab it. So you gotta know how to deal with that crap.
There's
And they help.
There's one of the books I have. I think it's experiences on the other side, the far side. And anyway, apparently there are groups of humans that have this ability to project themselves into the astral realms particularly where they call the transition zone, that they're able to go and, because according to them, there are some souls or spirits that get lost in the transition zone.
Yes.
And they
Yes.
have to have rescuers literally
Yes.
come in and pull
I
them
think
out.
that's one of my jobs. I've seen that so many
Interesting.
times in my visions that I'm one of the gatekeepers, but not the gate. I take them to the gate. So I'm part of the transport system. Yeah. And I've always sent on missions to go get the souls that were, and what it was explained to me is they're sitting in the wrong dimension. So they're not in the right dimension. You have to get them up into the next thing, or they're too high and they need to go low. Because if it's too high, it's like they're electrifying. They can't handle the vibration. It's like electrocution. You have to drop them down so they can grow, reconnect. These astral bodies are like physical bodies.
I can see that. I mean, it
God,
seems to me to be,
they are.
It's interesting because if, again, you start thinking about this, and so you have people that in the point of death, again, and this is interesting. I love these conversations. It's like that PBS show they used to have called Connections. You go through 50 different subjects and you end up at
Right.
But
right.
So you think about this transition zone. So if you come into it with fear, with timidity, with, the anticipation of something, and that's like dumping adrenochrome into your spirit being.
Yes.
So you are making the transition. It's fear all around. It's just this negative energy.
Yes.
I can't help but not think that sends you to a place in a twinkling of an eye that you suddenly, okay.
You travel by thought there. People don't realize this. There's a new mean of travel, and it's called thought.
Yeah.
So as soon as you get into the astral realms, you're no longer thinking the way that you thought here. The same thought process is happening, but what you think about, you bring about instantly. It will draw you to it, or it will manifest in front of you. You will travel by thought. So you better get a grip on your inner eye and your inner vision and your heart, and you better focus on the things that you love and the things that bring you joy, because you will be drawn to the realm of your vibration. So make sure that ladder, you're shooting high, get your vibrations high. And it's hard when people get killed quick, or in
the ones that are pushed out like that.
Extreme trauma. Now that's what I'm saying though. But see, this is when faith that you're more than this world will save you. Because once you understand whatever happens to this body, it's truly only temporary.
Well,
so
you can
don't worry
literally
about
disconnect from the body,
Absolutely, you do typically with the trauma, but usually them seeing their body go through that trauma can still twist them up in their own brain, unless you understand, trust me, let it go. That's not going to serve you. That's only going to serve dark ones that want to harness and capture your energy because you're too low of a vibration to get out of where you don't want to be. And that's going to be up to you. Nobody can do this for you. Nobody can do this for you.
Because on December 19th at 5:20 p.m. in 1970, I was hit by a car. I was crossing the street at Elgin in Westheimer. And oddly enough, it was the mayor's wife who hit me. And she kept on going, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
But the interesting thing about it is that I can remember at the point of impact when the car hit me. And I remember being temporarily disconnected from my body. I could see my body tumbling on the road, right?
Yeah.
And then I was suddenly drawn back in.
Yep.
And it was, it was pretty weird,
That is wow. That's wow, Wayne. That's awesome. You actually got to feel that. That's wow.
It didn't hurt. I mean, it hurt later. I broke my arm in two places. But anyway, I always remember that.
Yeah, I've heard that so many times when people survive getting multiple stabbings and stuff like that. They're like, the strangest thing is before the first plunge, I was pulled out of my body and I watched it from above. And then eventually I went back into my body and I felt the pain, but I didn't feel what was going on when it was going on. So hopefully that'll bring comfort to a lot of people who know their loved ones have died in tragic violent means most often none of them felt a thing. So just know that that happens a lot.
Gilbert Smith said, I've been hit twice on a motorcycle. That sucks.
Wow, Gilbert.
Gilbert, that seriously sucks.
May
man.
a triple shield of protection keep you in your super
like,
bubble.
woo,
Because
baby.
wow. Wow.
Yeah. So see, someone genetically modified said the same thing here. Yeah. But
you know
I got
what I
out
keep
dead.
hearing, Wayne? You know what I keep hearing right now too, Wayne? You know how we're into this whole the three concept about the three parts of self, and you know, the me, myself, and I. We need to put up triple grid protection.
Good point.
So when we're putting up our protective shields, we need to call for triple shield. You want me, myself, and I, the higher, the middle, and the one that's here, all three shielded and protected. I keep hearing that. They're like, you need to shield the full trinity. You need to shield all three. I was like, oh, snap. Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, it's big time. They're like, get your shields up. We're battling right now, guys, battling hard. So get your shields up, triple power.
Shields
1, 2,
up.
3, all the way up. Me, myself, and I, all the way up. And boom. Yeah, fire. Get it. Mm-hmm.
What an hour.
Triple
Make sure to
fire.
hit the like button, folks. I mean, Trina, this has been this is why I love doing these shows.
Me too. I love the way we carry each other in our minds. It's because that's what's going to do this is asking the right questions, and we're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, and within many, wisdom is brought forth. So that's what I love about this group. I mean, hello, Julianne. How you doing, my dear? Speaking, we love you. Thank you for your gifts and talents.
Yes.
All of you. Genetically Qualified said, brilliant. 3 times shield.
Yes, we need it. We need it and bring it and make it strong. And I would wrap all 3 in another 3. That's what they're showing me.
Oh, I like that.
3, 6, 9.
3, 6, 9. There we go.
Right there, and so the wrap all 3 in 3, and however you see that for your colors and your.
And let's go,
elements.
Brandon. I agree. Someone wrote.
Oh, me too. Oh, me too.
Someone said, Kimberly says, when the saints come marching in. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, well, this has just been fun. Hey, Deborah Truax, how are you doing, dear? Gaia, this has been fun, Trina. I always enjoy Tuesdays.
Yes, me too. It's my favorite. And like I said, the one who's jealous because I get to spend time with Wayne. Oh, you're so right. I'm such a happy girl. My time with Wayne, I value very much. So, I totally feel that. I was like, I would be jealous too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I would.
Someone actually wrote me and it was funny saying, I'm jealous of Trina. She gets to actually be with you before you're on air.
Hang out with Wayne.
Like, what the heck, man?
Yes.
I love this.
It's wonderful. Yes.
This is such a wonderful group.
Like I said, you and Brian changed my world because I finally found my tribe.
Yeah,
it was a long time just sitting in the backgrounds, never in chat, just watching y'all. But I was like,
I remember those days.
These are my people. These are my people. I love y'all so much.
This journey in this group has been such a fabulous experience. I mean, the names and the pictures that I see of the people, you form that. There's an emotional bond. There's a psychic bond.
There is a love, and it's palatable.
Palatable, yes, and it tastes good because as Rennie will tell you, I love chocolate. Where when you come to the beach, I'll actually have a chocolate pina colada.
Oh,
how about that, huh?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. Someone says a chocolate pina colada. Yeah, can you think of it? That's a pretty.
Absolutely
love chocolate. I mean,
I do too. Too.
The only kind of chocolate I don't like is the type that when Lynn and I got married, we got married in Hawaii, and in the suite we had, they had this huge tray of chocolate. Apparently, someone told them that I like chocolate, and so here we are munching on this chocolate, different pieces, and it's kind of dimly lit in this, in the room. But so I grabbed this piece of chocolate that apparently had habanero.
I wouldn't like that either, Wayne.
that sucked. I
Yeah,
mean,
I was like, no habanero with chocolate. No, not for me either.
hot and chocolate don't go together. I mean, it at
No.
least not that spicy hot. And
Yeah.
my mouth, I mean, it was.
You're like, why would people do something like this, especially without warning, fire hot?
No. I called our concierge and I said, what the hell were you people thinking?
Yeah, what'd you put habaneros in the chocolate for? I wasn't ready for
I
that.
didn't know was that where we were staying in this resort is that there was a lot of people from Japan and the Far East. I didn't realize that for them, that's kind of,
they love it. Yeah, love it. Yeah. It makes sense because like the homeopaths, they always ask you, do you like hot or spicy? Do you like this or that? And a lot of people say, I like sweet and spicy. Like that's a common thing. A lot of people do like, they want the hot and they want the sweet. Yeah. And some people prefer more salty. It's like me, I love chocolate with caramel with salt.
You see, now Martin and Heidi say we love habanero, just awesome on the food, but not on chocolate.
I wouldn't like it on chocolate either, but like I said, maybe it's an acquired taste. A lot of people do love that. That just works for their palate because they want the hot and the sweet. That makes sense to me, but it wouldn't be for me though. I wouldn't want that. But
no, my good friend Rennie, she always sends chocolate on my birthday, and she always finds these chocolateurs that are, they're boutiques, and Boy,
the love of chocolate. Now too, we got this crazy full moon coming on the 20th. This is going to be an intense energy. We've got planets in retrograde. We've got planets in direct opposition. We got a T-square thing. There's a lot going on right now with the solar system. This is this is the representation of the hunter's moon. So this is like, astrologically, this is saying, get ready for the winter, which we've been hearing a lot about this winter thing. So get ready for the winter. This means it's time to go out and do the hunting. That's why it's the hunter's moon, because it's time to go out, get the animals so you can get the refrigerator stocked and get everything ready to bunker down and hunker down for winter. So this is a time now to get out your patriotic spirit, your pioneering spirit, get your preparations ready for winter, because I think you might need it, guys. So this is time. It's time now to start getting ready for winter.
All right. Y'all heard that. By the way, the moon this morning was beautiful. I watched the moon set and it was beautiful. Very lovely, bright. It was this lovely, it was a silver kind of, by the light of the silvery moon.
Yesterday in Australia, they had an image on Gina Marie Covenhill, her channel. She had an image of this big round, like a planet or a portal or something. It was a big round sphere right beneath the sun on the live cams from a hotel in Australia yesterday morning. So there's something there. I don't know what it was, but I can feel it. I'm like, oh, there's definitely something there. I don't know what that is, but there's something.
Deborah Truex says, prepare to share. That's a great attitude to have.
It is. Deborah. And that's what I'm saying. But stock to help everybody else that just has no clue about none of it. They're in their own little bubble. And when it pops, they're just going to freak out. Like I said, my brother's having a little bit of a,
reality is setting in, as they would say. Oh, crap.
People are waking, and boy, when they do, it's very shocking at first. So you're going to need to support them and help them, especially too if they have no preparation, because they did not have a clue. Gotta love them, but gotta help them.
Ignorance is a self-inflicted disease easily cured by knowledge. R. Wayne Steiger.
I love that. It's so true. So
it
true.
Is. It's,
But like I said, sometimes the ones who can see are here to protect the ones who couldn't. So that's it's all right too, because this is crazy, and a lot of people can't see this, Wayne. They just can't. It's too deep and too big, and they can't even think about it, and they have a meltdown. So some people they won't be able to. So
well, we'll just sing them a lullaby.
That's right. Yes, we will.
Yes, we sing a lullaby.
Absolutely.
Golden slumber. I got the Beatles going. Well, Trina, Been fun, hon. So you're going to be on,
Absolutely.
let's see, on
I'm
Saturday.
gonna try, but I might be in a pickle because I have been called to family duty to help furniture moving processes. So I was like, oh shoot. So I may have to do that.
Well,
Yeah, may have to go help the
okay.
family out this weekend. So
Well, do it in excellence.
when they call, I got to show up. So
Yeah. That's
that's
what
how we
family
roll.
has. That's what
That's
they
what we
do.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, all right. Much love, everybody. Thank you. This is so
Mm,
good. I love all of you folks, and we just appreciate that you folks just you come in with an open mind and an open
yeah.
heart, and the people feel that. A lot of people who
Absolutely.
stop in, they all look at that 111 thumbs up. So, and it's
Oh,
almost
I love
111
it.
on the time.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
the
That's
angels are
amazing.
talking. The angels are saying, "Oh yeah, we love you."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I said, guys, I think a part of the highest part of you, it's that vibration of that angelic vibrations. So that's one of the ways to think about trying to connect to the highest vibrations of you is go into those frequencies because it's close, real close.
Indeed, it is.
Yes, it
All
is.
right, folks. We love y'all, and
Uh,
we will see you next Tuesday for sure. Miss Trina,
Yes.
much love to you, dear. Thank
Love
you.
you.
All right,
Yes.
folks. We'll see you tomorrow as well.